This is opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi in a remote part of Burma, just hours after police had attacked and wounded scores of protesters. The events that had unfolded in a tiny village had suddenly become the major flashpoint in Suu Kyi's struggle with the Burmese generals over the future of the country. Just weeks before, we had travelled secretly to the village that would find itself at the centre of the violence.
Camera down, well.
We were travelling towards a mountain range that contains one of the biggest unmined deposits of copper in the world, worth billions of dollars.
This mountain ridge in front of us is called Lepidong, which is basically the copper mountain. The copper is all throughout that mountain ridge. What they're worried about is the disappearance of an entire mountain.
I caught my first glimpse of the mining that's begun here. Unchecked, the mining will eventually destroy this entire mountain range to reach the copper below. Three mountain peaks had already been reduced to rubble. There were 30 more to go. Right up against the mine is the village of Wet May. I'd come here to meet Net, a woman risking everything by leading a struggle against the mine. She showed me where the mine was dumping waste on their fields.
So we've only been here for a couple of minutes really, and we've already seen two of these giant dump trucks dumping this ever-growing pile of rubble that almost seems, as we're watching, to be getting closer to the village.
It's not just any mining company that Net is dealing with. The mine is owned by China's main weapons manufacturer and a business run by Burma's top generals, with assets they've seized during years of military rule. Two months ago, Net was jailed for a week for leading a demonstration. Eventually, the police gave way. Her mother said she wasn't surprised. Until reforms last year, protesters were jailed for years. Net's mother said Suu Kyi was a role model for her daughter. Net showed me how the arrival of the mine had ripped out the heart of the village. The local authorities had sacked the village school teacher.
So what's upsetting you now? When you...
အားကြိုးတင်ငွေလူခန်းပြီးတော့အကုန်လုံးပေါ့ရက်ရွာရောအလူခံကိုယ့်ရဲ့ချွေးနေစာတွေနဲ့စောက်ထားတဲ့အကြောင်းနဲ့ခုံနေလည်းမရှိတော့ကြလူငယ်ကောင်းစားရေးကိုပဲဖြစ်သွားတာပေါ့နော်သူတို့ကတရုတ်တွေကရွှေ့ပေးတဲ့အကြောင်းမှနေတယ်ဆိုရင်
Government officials had even enticed away the village monk.
ဒီစီမံကိန်းက350လဲသူ့ကိုပေးတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဖုန်းတစ်လုံးလဲရတယ်ဆိုင်ကယ်တစ်စင်းလဲရတယ်သူကအသက်ကလည်းကြီးပြီဆိုတော့ကျတော့အဲ့ဒီငွေနဲ့ပဲဟိုမှာပဲနေမယ်ပေါ့ပြီးတော့စီမံကိန်းကသူတို့ဘယ်လိုပြောမလဲ
ANET called a meeting to update the villagers. She and her cousin Tway Tway had learned every detail about the Burmese company that part-owned the mine, UMEH, a key part of the General's business empire.
ဒီမြန်မာနိုင်ငံမှာဥပိုင်ဆိုတာရသူနိုင်ငံတော်အနေနဲ့အုပ်ချုပ်တာနိုင်ငံတော်အနေနဲ့မဟုတ်ဘူးဆိုတာကိုခင်ဗျားတို့သိကြအောင်ပြောပြတာသူတို့ဥပိုင်ဆိုတာလက်တဆုပ်စာလောက်ပဲရှိတာသူတို့ရဲ့ဟိုဘိုးစုလေးပဲရှိတာပြည်သူတွေကလားစာပေးပြီးတော့ခန့်အပ်ထားတဲ့ဥပိုင်နေဆိုတာလက်ဒါသူတို့ကိုတက်ကိုစနစ်ကြကြအုပ်ချုပ်ခိုင်းဖို့ရာဆိုပြီးသူတို့ကိုဒါပညာအတက်တယ်ပေါ့နော်လောက်ကိုလောက်ရမှာဘာလို့လဲဆိုတော့ဒီစီမံကိန်းကြီးကသူတို့အနေနဲ့လုံးဝမရက်ဆိုင်မှုဆိုတာသူကြွေးကြော်ထားတယ်လေအားလုံး
Yet the women were only addressing half the village. The rest of the inhabitants had left. They'd accepted a new life in a settlement built by the mining company and the promise of a job at the mine.
ဗမာလူမျိုးတွေသူတို့လွယ်လွယ်လေးနဲ့ရွှေ့ပေးထားကြလေတရုတ်ရဲ့ကျဲကျူသူတို့လှုပ်ချင်လို့ရွှေ့သွားတာအခုကျတော့အဲ့ဒီလိုဖြစ်နေကျတို့ခင်ဗျားတို့ကမရွှေ့မပေးဘူးတက်တိရှိရင်ဆိုင်ရတဲ့တက်တိရှိတော့တရုတ်အနှိမ်ခံရတယ်လားတရုတ်ပြောဆိုခံရတယ်မခံရတဲ့ပြင်ကိုကသူတို့ကိုတိုက်ခိုင်းနိုင်တယ်မင်းတို့နေရာစိတ်
Each morning, ANET goes to pick vegetables in the fields that her family has lived off for generations.
ပညာရေးချင်းကလည်းနေမားတယ်သူများစီသူများအလုံးနဲ့လည်းအမတို့ထမင်းလည်းစားမဖြစ်တော့ဘူးလို့ကတော့အမတို့ကတွေးမိပါတယ်ဟိုလည်းတစ်ဖုံတယ်စားစရာရှင်သူတို့ပဲစားမယ်သူတို့ကအသားကိုစားမယ်တကယ်တမ်းစားရင်အမတို့ကအယိုးပဲစုပ်ရအမလူမျိုးကအယိုးပဲစုပ်ရမယ်
The mining company says they paid the farmers for their land and have contracts to prove it. ANET says they were told the agreement was only for the temporary loss of crops. Whatever was said to them, the villagers here clearly feel duped.
ပထမတော့နှစ်စာတီးနှံရောချေအဲ့လိုပြောပြီးအခုကျတော့နှစ်စာတီးနှံရောချေမဟုတ်ဘဲနဲ့အပီးပိုင်ရောချေပုံစံမျိုးသူကလောက်တာနှစ်ပတ်တစ်ပတ်ရိုက်တာပေါ့အပီးပိုင်ပေးတယ်ဆိုပြီးတော့သူကထွက်ခိုင်းတာတော့နှစ်ရော
A few miles away is the new settlement built by the mining company for villagers who have given up their land. The government had made farmer Utain Win headman of the new village. Each family received a new house and the promise of one job per family in the mine. Marcy has moved here with her husband and daughter. Instead of working in the fields, she's making clothes. And she's enjoying her new mod cons.
How is life different for you here than in Old Wetmate?
နဲ့တော့ကွာပါတယ်ဒီမီအိုလေးနဲ့ကြိုင်သုံးပြပါတယ်ဒီမီအိုလေးနဲ့အခုဒီမှာမီးတွေရေတွေရတော့လျှက်စစ်မီအိုနဲ့သုံးတယ်ထမင်းချက်တာလျှက်စစ်မီအိုနဲ့ချက်လိုက်ဟိုတုန်းကဆိုအဖြူအမဲကြီးရတယ်အသေးလေးလက်မပေါ့နော်18လက်မလောက်ပေါ့နော်အသေးလေးအဖြူအမဲကြီးရတယ်အခုကာလာနဲ့မီးလာတော့ကာလာနဲ့ကြီးရတယ်လို့ကြီး
For her, it's a big change of life coming from the old village to here. She's running a family and she works as a seamstress. So these things are a way of her making some money. So it's a very big change, very significant change for her.
But the mining company had failed to deliver the job it promised every household, and money was tight. The village headman admitted things had not turned out as the villagers wanted.
ရောရှက်မှုလေးတွေတော့ရှိတာပါနော်အစင်မပြေမှုလေးတွေရောအစင်ပြေမှုလေးတွေကတော့ရှိတဲ့အပိုင်းလေးတွေလည်းရှိပါတယ်နော်အခုလိုတအိမ်တယောက်ကြနှုံးပေးလိုက်တဲ့အခါတော့စောင်းဝင်နေရတော့ဟိုလိုပေါ့ဟိုသွားပြီးတော့လေစီမံကိန်းမှသွားပြီးတော့လှုပ်ဖို့လူမရှိတဲ့နဲ့ခက်ခဲတာပေါ့နော်
What do you think of people like Anet and Tuetue who seem to be leading the people to stay?
ကိုရိုနာနဲ့တော့သူတို့လောက်တာလဲမှားတယ်လို့မသုံးတတ်ပါဘူးနော်ဒီနေရာကကိုရိုကတော့ပျော်လို့ရွှေ့လာတာလည်းမဟုတ်ဘူးပေါ့ဒါစီမံကိန်းနဲ့မဖြစ်မနေနဲ့ဟိုလည်းဖြစ်တော့ဒီမတ်တော်တဲ့ဝန်တော်မှာအိနဲ့တို့ပို့လေကွာရန်သူလူတော့မထားပါဘူးသူတို့လည်းသူတို့လမ်းသူတို့ရှောက်နေကြတာကိုလည်းကိုလမ်းရှောက်နေကြတော့နော်ကိုတဘောနဲ့ကိုလေးတွေပေါ့နော်ရန်သူလူကတော့မတတ်မှာပါ
Back in the village, Anet may not have had electricity, but she was trying to run a modern protest.
Yeah, မြေပုံနဲ့မရရင်ဒီဥပိုင် site တွေကိုတွားပြီးတော့ညညညညနဲ့တောင်းဆိုရမှာပဲ
လမ်းကြောင်းပိတ်လိုက်ထွက်ပေါက်
အဲ့ပုံစံတော့ရတယ်ကျတို့ကမနက်ခင်းပဲတိဆုပ်ပြီးလို့ရှိခဲ့ကျုပ်အနေနဲ့လည်းအိမ်ဘက်ကိုမငဲ့တော့ပါဘူးကျတို့ကတွားလိုက်ချင်ရတာပဲတမန်
ညမနက်ခင်းကိုပဲတိဆိုလို့ရှိရင်နေ့လယ်ကငါပဲတိရောင်းညနေလဲလို့ရတယ်နက်ခင်းစာကိုငါယူလို့ရတယ်နေ့လယ်ကိုခံကချိန်ပြောင်းပဲဟုတ်တယ်
Anet was doing everything possible to make sure this didn't remain just a local issue. Next morning, Anet took me to the mine headquarters. With a camera donated by her contacts in Rangoon, she was documenting an escalation of the conflict. Villagers with jobs at the mine had gone on strike, demanding better pay and conditions. Just 2 years ago, this kind of defiance would have led to long prison terms. The compound was home to about 2,000 Chinese workers who get most of the skilled jobs. The few positions given to the locals were as low-paid cleaners and kitchen staff. Led by the village headman, a small group of workers was allowed in to negotiate. After hours of talks, there was an update. Mine officials were stalling, saying they had to check with Beijing. The striking workers camped outside the mine headquarters to keep up the pressure. ANET knew they needed more support. She and Tway Tway set off to see a group of people who for years have been one of the most powerful enemies of the Burmese generals. Their destination was a Buddhist monastery whose monks have been at the forefront of political protests.
These photographs are postcards that they've got together to show the farming life in the Lepidong Mountains. They're very inspiring in the way that they're actually organising themselves. And when you think about it, this is a small community, a small farming community, taking on the might of a Chinese mining company and the Burmese military.
Burma's Buddhist monks aren't cloistered ascetics. In 2007, the monks in this monastery were amongst the first to rise against military rule. The protests were brutally repressed. After morning prayers, ANET and Tway Tway had the chance to put their case. Our presence had attracted attention. Immigration police turned up to find out what was going on, and we had to leave. But ANET got her promise. 500 monks pledged to join her campaign. In Rangoon, ANET's campaign had become front-page news as a story of the generals stealing from the people. Burma's media is just emerging from decades of censorship. We went to meet a leading newspaper editor, Chaw Min Sway.
Land issue is big issue, big problem from the government. It's a local crony business under control of military regime. They took a lot of lands from local people by force.
He told me that until recently, UMEH, the General's company, was the mandatory local partner for any foreign investment. As Western companies arrive, they'll still find themselves having to deal with the Generals, who have stakes in almost every aspect of Burma's economy, hotels, transport and land development.
Currently, the military's officers is also chairperson or managing director of UMEH. Mostly the shareholders are top-level officers. So we have to face big question and big challenge about that issue, UMEH. How they control the all business sectors, how they influence to the current government.
We followed the Chindwin River back towards ANET's village. On the bank opposite, we saw the next stage in ANET's campaign.
We're right on the riverbank, opposite Lepidong Mountain, where the copper mine is underway. And on this side of the river are the townspeople of Mongwa. What they're doing is having a mountain gazing ceremony.
People from the local town were gazing at the mountains the mine would remove. U Ant, a poet, told me the police tolerated the gazing but had forbidden any other protest.
We just stand here and observe the mountain, and after that we may most probably disperse peacefully.
In a country where protests had for decades been brutally repressed, no one knew how the authorities would respond to ANET's burgeoning campaign. This simple act was testing the limits of Burma's new freedom. A fortnight after we left Burma, the promised 500 monks arrived to help the villagers, joining the protest outside the mine headquarters. When they ignored a deadline to leave, police threw incendiary grenades, which set fire to the monks' tents. Many of the monks and villagers were terribly burned, among them one of ANET's cousins. Later that day, Aung San Suu Kyi arrived. She promised to investigate the mine. This will prove a critical test of her ability to deliver justice to the Burmese people. Just before we left Burma, ANET had told us this was a struggle she was never going to give up.